You're listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast, episode number 14. Welcome to the Balanced Educator. We're your hosts, Kaylee
and Josiane from Educalm. Our intention is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful in all aspects of your life.
Hello there. Welcome to the Balanced Educator Podcast. Today we have a special episode. It's going to be me, Kaylee, interviewing Janelle Laflèche again.
I'm back.
Janelle was with us. We interviewed her in episode 12. So if you want to check out that episode, it's totally worth it because she's awesome and we had a really great conversation. Janelle is a grade 2 teacher. And she is one of our Educalm classroom teachers. So she has been using Educalm Classroom, the French version, École Educalm, in her classroom with her students since September. Educalm Classroom is an online tool that includes mindfulness practices, so guided 5-minute audio practices that teach students and their teachers how to breathe calmly, how to understand their emotions and self-regulate. It gives students and teachers breathing tools that they can use throughout the day to return back to a state of calm, to prepare brains for learning. In addition to the guided 5-minute mindfulness practices, there are also lesson plans. So it walks the teacher through each step of how to implement this practice in the classroom, how to get started in a way that will bring success, how to get over some of the potential hurdles of starting this in your classroom. There's really nothing that the teacher needs to teach. All they have to do is press play and learn with their students. The lesson plan is just there as an extra resource to get ideas of how you can bring this practice even deeper with your students and different ways that you can do this practice. It also comes with student reflection booklets, which allow the teacher to bring this into maybe their language course or their health course or anything where they want to go a little bit deeper into reflecting on this practice. We also have additional resources like posters for the different breathing strategies so that there's a visual that you can easily use to point and direct your students towards helping them make a good choice of what breathing strategy they could use when they're experiencing a different emotion. We also have some games and other fun ways to include mindfulness in the day. Educalm Classroom is also always growing, so we're always adding new material, new guided mindfulness practices, and a fun thing is that when you are accessing your online Educalm Classroom portal, there's actually spots for you to ask us questions. So at the end of every lesson, you can ask us a question and we'll jump in there and we'll reply to you. So we're always there to help you along the way. The intention is that you don't need to know anything about mindfulness. You get to learn with your students and it's ready to start tomorrow. So back to Janelle. We were lucky enough, Josiane and I, to come visit her in her class, and it was so much fun.
So fun. You guys have to come back.
Yeah, we're going to have to because your students, grade 2, so cute.
They were so excited to meet you guys because it was like the woman's voice from every single day, from the audio of Educalm is here. So yeah, no, they were so happy to have you guys, and I think they're going to be talking about it for a long time.
Awesome. So the reason we have you on the show today is we'd like to get the perspective of a teacher that's actually using Educalm Classroom every day. I think probably to answer some of the questions that someone that's interested in trying out Educalm Classroom would potentially have. So first question for you would be, how did you get started with Educalm Classroom? Like, what was that like starting out?
Yeah, so I feel like anytime you try something new, it's always, I feel like for me anyway, it's kind of a resisting thing at first in the sense of like, oh, it's new, I have to like start all over again. But this, I kind of just did it and it was so easy. And I was like, okay, all you have to do is tell the kids what it is. What is mindfulness? Kind of like a little bit of an intro for kids. And then you kind of just press play and it's taught for you. The thing is, I feel like a lot of people might think like any kind of new program, you have to do big lessons to go with them and stuff. And you can go as deep as you want before or after, of course. But what I love about your program is that you just press play and there's like another teacher in the room for you.
That's so awesome. I'm glad that you say that because that was our intention. We know because we're teachers that there's already so much on your plate. You don't have time to get your mind wrapped around this whole new concept that isn't like a real learning outcome in the curriculum already. Mm-hmm. So it feels like an extra thing that you're adding on, even though it's like important to be teaching the social emotional learning.
Yeah, a super good point. I feel like people often put that on the back burner. And I feel like this tool has just kind of become part of our day versus like fitting it into our day.
Right. That's so awesome. And that's exactly what we were hoping for, is to create something that isn't an extra thing that a teacher needs to wrap their head around, make lesson plans for, learn first before they can teach it. They can just like get started now.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. That's the best kind of tools where you can just like go and do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm really glad that that has been the experience because that was our intention.
Yeah,
so,
no, you did, guys.
Phew, thank goodness.
For sure.
Side note, we did not pay Janelle to come do this episode with us.
No, I truly, truly love it.
All of her opinions are her own. So, next question. Did you have any like hurdles? There's no way that this went smoothly all the time.
Yeah, good point.
It's like anything that you start in your classroom that's new to you and to your students, there's going to be some hurdles. So what would you say were some of the hurdles?
I think the biggest hurdle for me was my expectation of what it would be. And funnily enough, most of the answers to my problems or questions about if I was doing it right or not came from Josiane's voice on the audio. So for example, like how the kids should be sitting. Is it okay if their eyes are open? Is it okay that they're moving? Is it okay that they're playing with the bottle in front of them? And I mean, what I love is that it makes it okay. Like she literally says it in the audio. She says, it's okay if you're sitting straight or not, if your eyes are open or closed. And it's just like, okay, like this is just a time for the kids to be and to kind of accept what they're doing in that moment.
Awesome. So the worries that you had were addressed
in
the practice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the other thing that comes to mind is when to do it. Because I mean, like anybody can relate. You don't have a million hours in a day. So yeah, I just kind of found what was right for us. I know a lot of teachers do it in the morning, but for us, it works better because of our schedule with gym and all that stuff. It doesn't work in the morning as well. So we do it right after lunch recess. So yeah, they come back from recess and they all know that that's what we're doing and they know how to be and kind of just like it's time to find a spot and we'll get started and it works for us.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Were there any students that were resistant to doing the practice?
There's students that kind of, like any other class, you know, they'll sit beside their best friend and giggle and make faces at each other. And kind of over time, we've talked a lot about like, what's best for you to get the most out of this practice. So I often would compare to if you sit beside your best friend, of course you're going to want to chat and laugh and giggle. And I often say like, if it's me and I sit beside my best friend at a meeting, I talk too, and I'm an adult and it doesn't make me a bad person. It's hard to resist. So the kids kind of know now to sit in a spot where they won't be as distracted by others and they can concentrate on their practice.
Awesome. So you do it right after lunch. Do you do it every day?
We do it every day except Wednesdays because of a scheduling conflict.
Right.
So that's just what works for us. And next year, it'll probably be completely different depending on our schedule.
Yeah. And depending on the group, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe you'll have a group that you'll want to do it, once a day, maybe twice a day, maybe in the morning, maybe at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, I guess I should note that I'm talking like the formal practice. Because, I mean, of course, we use the tools that we learned from it all day, or any time of day that we need to.
Okay, like what? Yeah. What sort of tools?
Okay, well, what comes to mind is the tools that they learned, especially the breathing techniques. That's for sure my students' favorite part of it. Mm-hmm. As you guys saw when they came to visit, the kids were going crazy for all the different breathing exercises.
Yeah.
Not only that, but they even got to invent their own with Kaylee and Josiane. They absolutely love that. But anyway, so yeah, let's say a kid is having or is very upset from like a fight that they had at recess, or they don't understand what to do or they don't know how to get started on a writing assignment or something. And they're upset. Like they might choose a breathing technique to calm themselves down. There's one student in particular that uses it multiple times a day, every day. He absolutely needs that kind of tool in his life because he doesn't adapt well to his different emotions, and he feels very deeply. So for him, it's like the best tool. So if he is having a little bit of anxiety or getting nervous or crying or something, me and him will talk and go in the hall, just him and I, and then he'll pick his favorite breathing technique and he calms down right away, and he comes out like a different kid after. He's like ready to work or ready to get back to the group. And it's super nice to see that they truly use them. Of course, I guide them sometimes, but other kids comes from themselves. Like it totally depends on the kid.
That's so awesome. Mm-hmm. So the breathing strategies, the tools, the language that they're learning by doing this practice with you every day is giving them tools that they can use throughout the day whenever it's needed.
Exactly. And it's really nice to have that common language. Yeah. Like, you can just kind of say a couple keywords if it's not the time to speak, and just say, okay, let's use a five finger breathing. Let's go. And then they know what that means.
That's so awesome.
It's nice to all understand each other, and it kind of forms like a little bit of a community in the class.
So awesome. Mm-hmm. What would you say was kind of your favorite part of practicing with Educalm every day in your classroom, or most days with your classroom?
What I like about it is that it's a routine, and especially with the group I have this year, we absolutely need a routine. So I love that I know exactly what I'm doing at that time every day, and I don't have to prepare for it. I just have to have my computer, and I just know what to do. And I love that I'm learning from it too. Like I love that I truly benefit from it, and it teaches me things as well. It could be for any age, honestly. Like anybody from kindergarten to grade 12 and over can literally learn something from these practices.
That's awesome that you said that, because again, that was one of our intentions. We wanted this to be a tool that the students learn with their adults, or kids learn with their adults. Yeah. So on purpose, we tried to use language that is understandable for kindergarten and also not babyish for grade 12s and adults.
You guys kind of nailed that. Very impressive.
Well, I think it worked well because Josiane's background is in elementary school. Mm-hmm. And then for me, I was in high school. So we were able to, choose our language in a way that would be like, if I said something a certain way, she'd say, I don't think that the younger kids would understand that, or vice versa.
And that makes me think you guys did the coolest metaphors in, I think is it the fourth series? And it's like about trees and the emotions, or the clouds going through your sky, or the wind. It's so cool.
Yeah. So in that one is the series on self-awareness. So we talk a lot about emotions and how they move through your body. So an emotion isn't something that stays the same forever. So we can watch our emotions come and go and breathe through them as we watch them. So we used examples like you're like a tree, and your emotions are like the wind blowing through the trees. So you can stay strong and stable, and you're okay. You can observe and feel the wind blowing through your branches, and that's okay.
Man, that is a lesson for me, like today. That's what I'm referring to. Like, that's the kind of thing that you have to remember. And it's nice. It's such a nice 5 minutes a day, nice reminder. I love that.
Yeah. How do you find the length? Is 5 minutes too much?
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah. It's like the exact amount. I wouldn't want to go longer, but I mean, too short would be too short, right? It's perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. Because sometimes we feel as teachers, we have like a million things on our plate and you just think, I don't have time for another thing. Does it feel like something that is adding or taking away time from your day?
No, that's the thing. It's not too long. Like, it doesn't take up a whole period. You know, it's just like you fit it in. Well, like I said, it's part of the day now.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just the perfect thing to then, you know, you go from recess to Educalm to the next thing. And it just feels very organic and perfect.
Yeah. Do you think that it helps the day to run more smoothly?
Yes, because in the past, I actually used to always do a return to calm 5 to 10 minutes after that, the recess at lunch. And I didn't have anything to teach I would maybe just put on like soft music or something, but it wasn't like a lesson or anything. It was just, okay, put your head down and calm down. But now this has replaced that and it's way better because they're actually learning, but it's also guiding them to actually learn those techniques to relax and to breathe. And to me, it just enhanced what I already was doing, but this is so much better.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay, so can you walk me through your typical day of how you use Educalm Classroom in your classroom with your students?
For sure. So yes, like you mentioned, we've been doing it since September. So just side note, if ever we don't do it for some reason, like let's say we have a special activity in the afternoon, they'll always notice and remind me, oh my God, Madame, we didn't do Educalm today. So they now expect it. So that's kind of, like I'd mentioned, part of the routine, and that's kind of the beauty of it. So they come in from recess, let's say if it's winter, take off their winter clothes, and then they know to go straight to their table or their desk and that it's going to be the return to calm. The lights are off. Once everybody's settled, I usually do the afternoon, what do you call it?
The attendance.
Attendance.
That's the English word.
Thinking in French. So attendance. And then as soon as that's done, they know that we're going to get started. And the kids also, like I had mentioned before, know that they have to find a spot in the class somewhere where they have their own personal space. So they can sit anywhere they want. So they don't have to be at their desk. Some choose to be, some take a chair to a corner, some take a cushion to sit on, some go on the carpet. Doesn't matter as long as they can be in their own little bubble. And so, yeah, everybody's settled in, and then I press play on my computer and I join in. So yeah, I might sit beside one of the students and just kind of follow along, breathe, listen, learn. Like I mentioned, it's a great tool for me too, and it helps me return to my calm and ready for the rest of the day. So once we're done our practice, depending what the lesson was that day, we might have a quick discussion about it, talk about what we learned, what was interesting, what was our favorite part. The kids love, the metaphors about animals or that kind of thing. And then we move on to the next thing. And sometimes we're in a bit more of a rush. I just press stop and then I say, okay, let's get started on the next lesson. So, you can use it how you want. You can go deeper if you want one day. You can just press play and then move on because we all know we're very busy as teachers. So that's kind of our routine.
That's awesome. And I love that you've made it a routine because, like you said, kids really love routine. They thrive with a routine. And once Educalm is part of their day, it's very quick when they're like, it's Educalm time, right? And I know that was the experience in my classroom. My students expected our mindfulness practice to happen in the morning. And if it didn't, then they were asking for it.
Yeah. They like you said, they love routine. They love to know what's next. And if they don't, it's like, what? Like they ask about it. So, to them, it's like so comforting to know. And it kind of makes them feel like they're also part of, they're kind of in control as well, in the sense that they're a part of it. They know what's next. They don't feel in the dark about their day. And they love that.
Exactly. Yeah. you were talking about the animal metaphor, I just love it because that one is from our mindfulness and or our emotions and self-awareness series. We use the metaphor of a turtle, and we explain how the turtle walks up and encounters a difficult situation, and the turtle feels lots of emotion and he's feeling frustrated, but then he does his calm breathing, and then we breathe together with the classroom. Then we move on to the next thing, and now he's feeling fear, and then we breathe together, and then we move on. So that one is one of our favorite ones that we created because it's so cute. And I know a couple of your students said that was one of their favorite ones, is the turtle one.
They always go straight for the animal stuff too.
Kids love animals. Yeah. So when we were at your class, we asked the students to invent some of their own breathing strategies.
Oh, so much fun.
It was so cute. Weren't you amazed with how every kid had an idea, and they were
unreal.
Like, they're so creative.
It was so cute. And they all wanted to get up there. Even the shyer ones were going up and showing us, they made it up on the spot, like the elevator breathing.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, butterfly or taco. There was a taco breathing one.
So cute.
But I mean, it's such a fun way to see that they really get it. They get what it's for. And once they took part in it already, they want to use it. And it's kind of like going to be even more present in their daily lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I loved, and this is from my yoga teacher brain. So when you're teaching yoga, you're always getting people to inhale as they're extending their arms up or lengthening their body in some way, and to exhale if you're kind of closing your body in some way. But the kids all did that when they were creating their own breathing strategies.
Yeah,
it was just natural for them to they understand how their body works. It's just a very natural thing for them. It was so cool. Hey,
so interesting.
So
actually,
they would always inhale when they open their arms and exhale when they're closing their arms. There was one of your students that did the hug breathing.
Yes.
So she inhaled as she opened her arms, and then exhaled as she hugged herself.
So cute. Ooh, one of my favorites was a monkey one.
Oh yeah.
They would scratch their armpits as they were exhaling, I think, and then extending their arms. It was super cute.
So cute. And then we talked too about, there were certain ones that made the whole class laugh. And, and we said, hey, these are really good strategies to use when you're feeling a little bit sad and you need to giggle to feel a little bit happier, or, get some giggles out.
And that made us have a really nice conversation actually the next day, because they wanted to try out the new breathing techniques. And then, but it was right before we were doing a lockdown practice, actually.
Oh.
So we discussed how maybe it wasn't the time to do the breathings that would make us giggle and excited, but maybe use the breathing techniques that we made up that would make us more calm and ready to be in silence for 15 minutes. So that's what we did. We discussed what's the best strategy for right now.
That's awesome. Yeah. And were they pretty good at choosing ones that were the right fit?
Totally. And they remembered what you said. They're very good at, they knew exactly which ones to go to. And they knew, oh, well, mine was a giggle one, so we won't do that one.
So cute.
Yeah.
One of the things that struck me when we came to your class and we were chatting with the kids, when I asked what's your favorite, or when do you use your calm breathing? And one of your students said, well, when I go to bed at night and I'm scared, I use my calm breathing to help me fall asleep.
God, that was cute.
So cute. And then another one said, well, when I'm at recess, if my friend doesn't want to play with me and I feel sad, I do my calm breathing, my, Educalm breathing, and it helps me to feel better.
Yeah.
It was so adorable.
And it's true. And I feel like sometimes they might not even, in the beginning anyway, realize that that's what they're doing. And then eventually they're like, okay, it's actually it's a tool that I'm choosing to use.
Yeah.
I think one of them that day too, before she had to speak in front of others and she was a bit nervous, was so outspoken about it. She said, I'm very nervous. What breathing strategy will I use right now?
Oh my God.
It's going to start to become something that they're consciously using.
Yeah, exactly. And then imagine now as they're getting older and starting to experience maybe anxiety because tests. Or, worried about maybe going to a new school, or lots of different things that are going to come up in their life as a student, exams, and now they have these breathing strategies that they can use forever, and hopefully they continue to practice Educalm in their classroom with their students in future years as well. And then they've got this whole toolkit for life, you know?
Truly, yeah. It's amazing for, like I said, for any age, for anyone, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you, Janelle, so much for telling us about your experience with Educalm, how you used it, how it's helping you and your students, and how easy it was for you to get started. So we have a really extra special thing to share with our listeners today. We want to make it really easy for you guys to try this out if you are interested in trying Educalm Classroom. So we have a course that's Introduction to Mindfulness. That course exists within the Educalm Classroom as well. But if you just want a taste, we're going to let you guys try it out for free. So you can use the code THANKYOU, all capitals, all one word, at checkout. So there's a spot that you click to add a coupon code, and that is going to let you access and enroll in our Introduction to Mindfulness, or Introduction à la pleine conscience course for free. So you can find this by going to www.educalm.com. That's spelled EDUCALME. Click on the Learn tab. That's going to bring you to our online school where you'll see all of our courses, and then enroll in Introduction to Mindfulness using the code THANKYOU. So one last time, thank you so much, Janelle.
You're welcome. It was so much fun.
Also, you're such an inspiring teacher. So thank you for being an amazing light in the lives of your students.
You guys inspire me every day too. So,
I love
much love in this room.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast. We will chat with you again next week.
Bye.